Hi guys. So today I want to mention just one of the topics in Unplugged 2. Unplugged 2 is coming out in November 4th is the day of the book launch, and you're all invited to come. We are going to be doing the book launch in Hurlingham. You can follow my social media feeds to know about the location and the time and how you can book a seat. So what I'd like to talk about today is about the constitution of a weak man. Now, you need to understand each other. Women have a problem with weak men. But when a woman speaks about a weak man, they mean something completely different from what I mean when I talk about a weak man. Of course, some of the things we talk about are going to coincide, but it's important to remember that, for example, when a woman says that a man should man up, what she means is that a man should serve her purpose. Women see men as a vehicle to enhance their survival imperatives, or to basically provide them with the lifestyle that they want. So when women say they want strong men, they mean men who can provide for them, protect them, and men who can give them the lifestyle that they want. They don't want men who also will want something for themselves, men who can tell them no, and men who are going to tell them to behave in a certain way and make them accountable for their decisions. They don't want that. So we have to be able to bear that in mind. So I want to talk about the constitution of a weak man. This is very important because the main objective of Unplugged 2 is to forge fortified and solidified men who are very prosperous. So we talk about forging because it's a process of it's like the process iron goes through. So it is hot and it's very difficult, and it's full of adversity, because masculinity is not built in comfort. It is built from adversity. So the first thing, when you look at the constitution of a weak man is lazy. So a weak man is someone who passes their time doing meaningless activities. Okay, they waste a lot of time. They don't apply themselves. They also love free things. Like if you go to a place with them, they want you to pay the bills. They want to hang behind when the bill is brought. They want free things. Okay, so of course they'll be broke because money comes from work done. So most times when you're lazy, you're also going to become broke. You don't have problem solving skills because you don't apply yourself. You're going to be looking for shortcuts. So lazy men also, you find them, they go to church, they go to miracle crusades, they follow wash guys, they follow politicians, they want handouts. Okay, they tend to become conmen, they tend to become swindlers. So that's the first thing about the constitution of a weak man. He's a lazy man. They're also very emotional. So a weak man is also going to be very, very emotional. You find that they don't regulate their emotions very well. They blow up, they become very angry, they become depressed. They're the guys who tend to become suicidal, and they're not aware that the world owes you nothing as a man. The world even doesn't owe you understanding. Nobody cares about what you're going through, and nobody's coming to rescue you. That's a fundamental belief or a maxim that a man must have, that nobody is coming to rescue you and you are responsible for your own life. So that's the second thing about weak men. They are very, very emotional. The third thing is that they are not grounded in reality. Okay, so these weak men also, they are tethered to hyper-reality. They like watching television. They like following what politicians are saying. Most of what politicians are saying is just garbage. Okay, you'll find them following spectator sports, what their favorite team is doing, who has been hired, who is playing in which team, and so that's part of hyper-reality. It's not going to help you. They like spending a lot of time on gambling. They like spending a lot of time on pornography, playing video games. Okay, so all of this is a false reality that is not going to have any bearing on your success as a man. That's the third thing about weak men. So they're not grounded on reality. They like a lot of escapism. They like drinking alcohol. You know, alcohol is also a form of escape. They sedate themselves, okay? And they sort of just abandon themselves, because all those are mechanisms of abandoning yourself. Instead of listening to yourself, what you need, prioritizing yourself, you sedate yourself, you look for escapism and things like that. The fourth thing is that they're not focused on building or creating wealth. Okay, so a weak man is normally very contented with having a salary and having a good job. Okay, they create a small comfort zone of them for themselves. They maybe go to a club, they buy a vehicle, they have a family, they pay school fees, and that's it for them. They don't have parallel streams of income. They don't fortify themselves. Those are the guys who, when they lose their jobs, when they get fired, they get depressed, they commit suicide, and so on. So they have us through life. They're very comfortable. They don't maximize their potential. They don't try to go beyond the comfort zone. They don't try to make a dent in the universe. So you find that these guys, they don't move from wages to profits. They're very happy to be earning a wage or to be earning a salary, and that's how they live. So they generally tend to stagnate. Okay, that's the fourth thing about a weak man. The fifth thing is they lack purpose. So a weak man is not going to be creating a purpose for themselves or searching for a purpose. If he has a job, he makes that job his purpose. If he has a family, he makes that family his purpose. He doesn't have any higher purpose for himself. So because of this, he actually does not is not able to apply himself to higher ideals. So that is very important. If you are a man, you need to be able to have at least one thing that you've mastered to world-class level. So that is very, very important. The sixth thing about a weak man is that they don't take responsibility. You'll find that they're blaming their parents, their upbringing, they're blaming the politicians, they're blaming the president, they're blaming their wives, they're blaming their girlfriends. They'll always have excuses for their situation in life, okay? Nobody cares. Nobody cares what your excuses are. Okay, the world only cares about results. Imagine a situation where you're going to buy a Mercedes. The Mercedes is costing 1.2 million, okay, or 4.5 million. Then when you reach the dealer's shop, you tell them, "Oh, I'm very sorry. I lost 500,000 on the way here. The thugs confronted me, and they took away 500,000. So I only have this money remaining." Do you think they'll give you the Mercedes? Nobody cares. So don't blame anybody for your results. Always look at the man in the mirror. That is a person who is responsible for everything that you have in your life. Okay? The seventh thing about weak men is that they are boring. If you don't do anything, if you don't apply yourself, if you are not always trying new things, of course your life is going to be boring because you lack captivation, you have nothing to share. You're not applying yourself, you're not reading, you're not talking to people, you're not networking, and so on. You're going to be a very, very boring person. So that is something to remember, the seventh thing about the constitution of a weak man. They also don't prioritize their health, okay? So you'll find they're smoking, they're drinking, they're eating grease, a lot of pizza, just eating without manners, okay? So because of this, they'll always be out of shape. These guys don't take time to exercise. They don't have a V-taper. If you look at them, they don't look like they can apply any force. Don't look like they can defend themselves or protect anybody, okay? So that is the thing about weak men. Out of shape, physically weak. Actually, they have bodies like the bodies of women. They have a lot of excess estrogen as opposed to testosterone. So they don't apply themselves. So a strong man should be able to go to the gym, make sure that he's physically fit, and he can take care of himself, at least defend himself if it comes to it. The ninth thing about weak men is that they are also simps, okay? They prioritize the feminine imperative. They think that they can negotiate desire. These are men who think that if you treat women like they are goddesses, then they're going to give you intimacy. So most of these guys are kept in the friend zone. They cannot make women wet because of the way they are behaving. They simp for women, and also because of that, they cannot say no. They cannot put themselves first. They cannot lead women. They are not able to make women feel safe and to inspire confidence. Okay? They treat women as a prize, and they don't do anything to make themselves the prize. The 10th thing is that they are mentally weak. They avoid conflict. They cannot enforce boundaries. They can't say no. They succumb to peer pressure. These are men who lack identity. They tolerate bad behavior from their women. They lack confidence, and they create a lot of buffers to protect themselves from the things they are afraid of. So things like one-nighties, things like the soulmate imperative, equal partnerships, unconditional love, things like that. They tend to believe in a lot of nonsense, okay? So they are mentally weak. And the last thing is that they also tend to be very ignorant. Weak men don't spend time to read and reflect. They're not very knowledgeable. They lack insight. They lack perspicacity. The word that Andrew Tate really likes. They cannot solve problems. And because of this, they can be manipulated and easily taken advantage of. So these are the kinds of guys who tend to make stupid mistakes, stupid business decisions. They take themselves to the brink of despair because they are mentally weak. They are not strong. They cannot persevere. They lack stoicism. They listen so much to their emotions, and they are not courageous or brave. Okay, so those are some of the 11 characteristics of a weak man, and that's what we talk about when we refer to the constitution of a weak man. So get your copy of Unplugged and learn more about the constitution of a weak man, and see you guys on the book launch on 4th of November. Laters.